Shane and Melissa takes us on this ride from suffering to a life so free. Her healing touch should set you free.
Hey, hey, I hope you are doing absolutely amazing. In just the 5 past days, I went through 5 states. I celebrated a wedding, said goodbye at a funeral, came home to new health alerts across the US, and things you need to know about. Today, I'm sharing the biggest life lessons from my journey, how to protect yourself from the parasite causing explosive diarrhea across the US. I am Shana Melissa Stockman, an RN and an NP for well over 30 years, who empowers fellow autoimmune warriors to go from merely surviving to truly thriving like I did. I offer in person and online consultations, classes, courses, and a step by step 90-day Your Wellness program. Let's dive right into today's topic. Last week, I saved the same man twice. And this week, I went through 5 states in 5 days, everything from the highs of a marriage to the lows of a funeral and more. And I'd love to share with you my life lessons along the way. And we're also, stay tuned because at the end, I'm going to talk all about the Cyclospora parasite outbreak, the signs, the symptoms, how to avoid it, if you get it, what to do, and how to treat it. First, I want to share some lessons I've learned this past week of the 5 states in 5 days. Number one life lesson that I learned is prepare for the worst and expect the best. Especially if you are a high anxiety person, you might stress out over little things. If you over prepare, you'll take out all the stress and all the panic. For instance, my favorite pair of shoes that match this beautiful dress broke white when I was on the way to the wedding. But of course, I had a spare pair. Then my pantyhose tore a rip, but I had a spare pair. So the moral of that story is when you prepare for the worst and expect the best, you'll have less anxiety, less panic attacks, and totally stress-free event. So always come prepareth and to stress less. Let's see. Number two, I learned from this past week, avoid toxic, negative, time wasting people at all costs. Okay. Sometimes what I learned is alcohol doesn't turn a person nasty. I think it makes their true colors come out. And that's just my personal experience. So if someone's nasty and they drink, they become nastier. I don't think their personality necessarily changes. In my opinion, from my experience, their personalities seem to be more amplified and their true colors totally come out. So, avoid toxic, negative people at all costs. Duck, turn your back, look the other way, whatever you have to do, because their true colors will so come out, especially when they drink. Misery loves company, but this one doesn't love misery. So, no, 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 no can do. You know, I learned this. Even when things aren't going right, I still try to be happy and always look at the positive, altruistic side of things. And you know what? That glass for me is usually always half full and it leads to more happiness. So always prepare for the worst, expect the best. Avoid toxic, negative people at all costs, especially if they're drinking. I also learned about the bucket of crabs this week from one of my new buddies, Adley. Hey, hey, shout out to you. She is like the most watched person ever on Facebook. Anyway, we were talking this week about the bucket of crabs, and I had not heard this story before. You have that bucket of crabs where that water's gonna boil, and they're all alive in there, and one of them's trying to climb out, escape to a much happier, better life, and the other crabs drag it down, right? Why do the other crabs drag it down? Because they're below that crab that's being more successful, right? So, what I learned is Only people below you could drag you down. And people above you will tend to give you a hand up. So if there's people that are trying to drag you down, if there are jealous haters out there, the reason is because they're below you. They can only drag you down from below, not from above. So I like to say, if you don't like the vibe of your tribe, either change your vibe or change your tribe. Maybe you're not hanging out with the right type of people that are going to cheer you on like you deserve. It's okay to quit a group, leave a group behind, say no, set boundaries, and watch out for yourself, number one. Now, what else did I learn this week? Number three, change your tribe to change your vibe. If the vibe of the people around you is sad, mopey, depressed, you don't have to put up with that. Either you can help change them, or you can change your tribe. And let's see. And I did this like at the wedding, at hometown activities as well. If they make me mad or sad, I don't do them. If I have to, I limit the amount of time. And I hope that helps you as well. So if people make you mad or sad, say no, set boundaries. Say, you know what, I can come, but I can only stay a few minutes. And tip number 4, I learned this week because the rehearsal dinner was like a Mardi Gras Mexican type of theme, is that rum is yum. The rum was yummy. And they had these humongous margarita glasses. And what else would I like to say? I'd like to say, for all of you tuning in, please let us know where you're tuning in from. Drop below, drop your questions, your comments. Please, no matter where you're watching from, set to get notifications, click that subscribe, connect, friend button, like, comment, share this with someone you know who could use it. So out of the 5 states I did in 5 days, everything from highs of a wedding to lows of a funeral, I'm now going to share you tip number 5 that I learned. Ignore distractions. People like ADHD sometimes, and I'm one of them. We get distracted. We have to laser focus to get more done and more accomplished and actually finish the task that we're started. And we have so many distractions around us all the time, between Facebook dings and emails and commercials and pop-up ads. Less distractions, more focus can help get her done. So maybe you have to set your phone on do not disturb, turn it off for a bit, put it on airplane mode. Focus, focus, focus. Say no. I am only learning this most powerful 2-letter word recently. Set boundaries. These are things I did not do for a lot of years, especially as a caregiver. So say no, set boundaries, focus, maybe create goals in the beginning of the month and the week and the day for what you're going to accomplish that day. Prioritize them, most priority on top, to make sure you get her done. And focus on your goals. Keep your eye on the prize. You guys ever see that little toddler where the dad said, keep your eye on the ball? And instead of watching the ball when they swung, they actually kept their eye on the ball. Okay. And I also want to share with you a couple updates and get into the U.S. outbreak, what's going on here. A couple of updates we have. Let me see. The wait list is soon opening for the live Reclaim Your Life super workshop. So stay tuned for that. The last one sold out. It's going to be all new content, totally different. And their wait list is not open yet, but as soon as it does, you want to grab your seat or your VIP seats, because I am very limiting the number of VIP seats. So when the VIPs get on, they get more individualized attention and they get a private consult as well as the replay. So stay tuned for the Reclaim Your Life live super workshop, waitlist opening up soon. Now let's talk all about this parasite outbreak. It seems like every trip I go somewhere, I come home and there's another outbreak. I remember I was in Cancun in February 2020 when they said it wasn't here yet. And I was flying home when it was already here. Now, about this new parasite Cyclospora outbreak, It's been around before, it's made outbreaks before. This one seems quicker, faster, more severe than prior outbreaks. Usually, when September comes, the parasites start dying off and can't really replicate as much. So I assume it's going to let up by September. Now, this is a parasite, Cyclospora, and it has a much fancier name. It currently is only spread from fecal oral route. That means from poop to mouth. So you can't breathe on someone and give it to them, maybe spit that goes into their mouth. But right now, it's fecal to oral, poop to mouth, not necessarily direct person to person through respiratory droplets or necessarily coughing or sneezing on them, unless it's your saliva, that your poop into their mouth. So I wanted to say that it's Cyclospora. It's a parasite. It's been around for years before. It is making an outbreak. Right now, one of the states with the highest count is Michigan. They think this outbreak started in lettuce. In prior years, it was other fruits and vegetables like blueberries. And I'm going to tell you the signs, the symptoms, helpful tips, how to try to avoid it, what to do if you get it, and how to make it go away much quicker. What is it? It's a parasite called Cyclospora. How is it spread? Poop, fecal oral, which is poop to mouth. And that means it could have been a farm worker that had this virus within, and in that huge field, pooped in the field because there was no bathroom around onto the produce. That's how it may spread. It may also be in the water that people are rinsing off fruits and vegetables. You see, if you get this and you have diarrhea and you poop it out in the bowl, and that water is not filtered adequately and treated adequately with UV light and other such methods, that the parasite might survive the water system as well. So that's how it's spread, usually poop to mouth. And common signs and symptoms are often cramps, diarrhea, explosive, having to run to the toilet, explosive, massive diarrhea, cramping. You could get vomiting, which is less common. You could get fever, which is less common. And you could vomit, which is less common. It often comes and goes. You may not get the symptoms for a few days till a couple of weeks or more in. It seems to come and go and wax and wane, where it might be starting to get better after several days, and then it can come back with a vengeance on and off for even a month or more. And it's hard to stop the spread because people don't know they really have it until they've had it for several days before they even can start showing signs and symptoms of it to track back where it came from. Who is at most risk? People with comorbidities, comortalities, like, say, people that are already in heart failure, already have GI issues. Maybe they have uncontrolled insulin diabetes. Those ones are at more risk. The elderly at more risk because they're already dehydrated. They don't want to drink, run for the restroom because of their weak bladder. So they're often already dehydrated and what else? People more at risk are those that are eating the raw fruits and vegetables, those that are not peeling them, those that are not washing them, those that are not cooking them to at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 70 degrees Celsius. There's practical ways you can reduce your risks. I actually, when I drove these 5 states in 5 days, this past few days, one of the states actually had all the sinks shut down in the ladies' room and said, do not even wash your hands with this water. It's contaminated. So know where your water is coming from, know where it's treated. If it is UV light treated as well, that's even better. If it's bottled, watch where it is bottled. I remember going to Mexico and getting bottled water, and I saw it was bottled in Mexico, and that was not for me. Practical ways you can reduce your risk when you're traveling: watch where you're traveling. Try not to travel to the higher pandemic, the higher populated areas where there's more of an outbreak, like Michigan right now. Maybe stay away from the lettuce. If you're going to get the lettuce, try not to get that pre-cut, pre-washed, because you don't know if it was cleaned in clean water, and you don't know if they took those few outer leaves out. If you're getting lettuce, try to remove those outer leaves, those few outer leaves where the parasites are most likely, and then wash them really good. If it's baking soda, vinegar, rinse them really well. You know what? Even cook it, okay? If you cook it to at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit, 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which is at least 70 degrees Celsius, it will kill off the parasites. So try to clean them, peel off, get rid of the peels, cook them when you can. The microwave does not kill this, so don't think you're going to put your sandwich with lettuce in it in the microwave to heat it up. It will not kill it. Often the freezer will not kill this parasite because the freezer temperatures vary throughout and it might not be cold enough to freeze it. So don't buy pre-cut, pre-washed, peel off the outer layers, wash it before you even cut it and peel it. Cook it till at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 70 degrees Celsius. I had a wrap a few days ago, before I knew of this outbreak was here in New York, and it had lettuce on it. So what I did is I took the chicken and the lettuce, the romaine, and I put it in the oven and I checked it with a digital thermometer to make sure all of the chicken was at least 160 degrees Fahrenheit or 70 degrees Celsius for at least a few minutes. Um, if you get this, you want to stay hydrated because dehydration is a consequence of this. You are running to the restroom for explosive diarrhea. You're more likely to get a UTI, especially if you're a lady. You want to stay hydrated no matter how much it bothers you, because dehydration could cause irregular heartbeats and much worse issues as well. So stay hydrated. Other tips you want to do other than stay hydrated, if you think you have this, go to your licensed healthcare provider and get a stool culture. They will ask you to submit your little stool in a cup, take it to the lab or do it at the lab, and then they will try to grow the bacteria for a few days and the parasites, and they will check it for ovis and parasites to confirm what you have, if you have a bacterial, a virus, or this parasite Cyclospora, or an ova or something else. That's important to always get a culture before you start any antibiotic treatment. And I'm going to tell you why. Often the doctors, I don't want to bash them, although they're not bad. Often the doctors will give you an antibiotic and won't know if they're treating a virus, a bacteria, which bacteria is, and if that antibiotic will even work on that germ. So when you drop off your specimen before you start an antibiotic, very important, before you start the antibiotic, it will start testing it to see, is it a virus, a bacteria, an ova, a parasite? And more importantly, which antibiotics will work on that, which medical treatments will work. So that if whatever the doctor gives you is not working after a few days, your stool sample is back and it'll tell you exactly which treatments will work for the bug that you have. And it's very important. A lot of times, I just had this with a client about a week ago. She was from out of state. She goes, listen, I'm coming to New York. I think I have a UTI. I said, fine, give me the urine sample first. Once that's given, then we can even start the antibiotic before the results. Because if you start a treatment first and then you give your specimen to see which bug it is and which antibiotic works, it messes up the whole test. It might not even show the bug in there because you were started on the treatment first. And then your doctor might say, you don't even have an infection, which is not true. And then they might prematurely stop your treatment that was working for you. So it's important, if you think you get this, reach out to your licensed healthcare provider or myself, who is a licensed healthcare provider. I offer video consultations where I can order that stool culture for you to check it for parasites, ovis, parasites, and other things, and see which antibiotics work best for you. So I hope this helps you. Remember those 5 tips from 5 states in 5 days with the highs and lows. Number 1, you're going to prepare for the worst, expect the best, and then stress less. Number 2, at all costs, you're going to avoid toxic, negative people that make you sad or mad, and especially if they're drinking, because crabs in a bucket will only drag you down. They can't uplift from below. Number 3, change your tribe to change your vibe. If they're making you sad or mad, change the people you're hanging out with so that they can help uplift you. Number 4, rum is yummy. And we said number 5, especially my high achieving fellow ADD and ADH people, avoid distractions. Put your phone on airplane, do not disturb, turn off the volume, anything that you don't have to do at that time. Focus on the task. You'll get it done. You'll get accomplished a lot more in a lot less time so that you can chillax and relax. And please, wash your fruits and vegetables, then peel off the outer few layers. Cook it when possible to at least 160 Fahrenheit. Watch the water that you're drinking. If you think you have this, hydrate well. Ask your licensed healthcare provider or myself for a stool culture. And there is an antibiotic that works on this. If you'd like to know which one, drop that down below. I don't know. Parasite, because I don't want to share it with everyone and everyone go run out and get this antibiotic and take the stock from people that might need it, because that's what happened in the pandemic. So I'm trying to avoid that. Most people will make a full recovery from this. And I want to thank all the eyeballs watching. Oh, and I want to share with you, not only please get on the wait list, watch out for the wait list coming your way really soon for the next live Reclaim Your Life Power Hour. That's all new. You want to get on that wait list as soon as you can, because I'm definitely limiting the number of seats and double limiting the number of VIP seats who get on the Zoom with me, get a live Q&A, get a consultation with me, one-on-one, get the replay access, the digital and printable workbook, and so much more, all for the VIPs. I just published a new episode. I was featured on CNTV recently, and they interviewed me for 24 minutes. And I'm just publishing that now. If you'd like to check out that episode of CNTV featuring myself, drop down below TV. I'll swing back. I'll get you that link. Or simply go to my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/at Shayna Melissa is my handle. And you could see it there under videos. And then also, we're going to have some special guests coming up and so much more. I thank you for tuning in, staying the whole time. Be well, biohack Olo. If you're not already getting our newsletters, go to worldwellnessexpert.com. You'll see a pop-up. Submit your email there. You'll start getting the first to be invited to exclusive invites, special savings, freebie gifts, and so much more. Subscribe to the YouTube right here if you're watching it. There's absolutely no cost, but that'll give you alerts when I have new clips, new lives, and come back next week right here where you're watching from. Normally, I live stream every Wednesday at 7 p.m., but if I have a conflict, it's at 1 p.m., and that will be EST time. So be well, biohack Olo, and I'll see you soon. Let's see how we can take this out in a really cool way.
Finding the strength deep inside. Shayna Melissa takes us on this ride from suffering to a life so free. Her healing touch should set you free.
Be well. See you here next week.